Banco. The documents?
Trente rouges, paire et passe. Madame, vous avez gagné.
Oh!
Don't you think it's time to quit, Marguerite, while you're ahead?
Why are you suddenly so contrary? I remember when roulette was your passion, darling. Anyway, you needn't worry. You know I'll see that Archibald invites you to.
And Vivian.
Why do you loathe that girl?
You know, she admires you a little too obviously.
Well, aren't you glad that others think I'm attractive? Put mine in the red.
Card.
Seven.
Let's go and get Marguerite.
Vivian and her lawyer friend. I can't figure them out.
What is there to figure out? They're employees of Archie. I'll bet this for you.
Les jeux sont faits. Rien ne va plus.
You mustn't go on brooding over Diana's death. You make things seem worse than they are. And when we return, everything will be all right. I'm sure they'll call it an accident.
I don't know. It won't turn out that it's quite that similar. But let's hope you're right.
You'll see. I'm right as usual.
23, impair, manque.
I won. We won. The evening's turning out well. For you?
Merci, madame.
Here's Archibald. Leave it to me.
Faites vos jeux, messieurs, dames.
Archie, since we're going to Brighton, Alfred's invited us to stay at his house there.
Excellent. We'll drive down together.
Bien.
Why take him with us, too? I think it's already too much with Marguerite and all this business.
You worry too much, Ben. It's precisely why I want him to go. He'll be able to keep her company while we're with the judge.
Faites vos jeux. Faites vos jeux, mesdames et messieurs. Faites vos jeux.
It's a pity we have to make the trip in such filthy weather.
It was you who advised me to wait till the last minute before presenting the documents. Personally, I would have submitted them months ago.
And we would all have been arrested. The inquiry into the death of Richard White will be closed at midnight. Certainly it's not my fault that the civil court judge decided that tomorrow is the last day valid for claiming that land that interests you so much. There are only a few hours left, but it's quite sufficient to conclude everything. Vivian, you sit in front. We're taking Alfred.
Alfred?
Yes. We've been invited to stay in his house.
Does he have a house? I thought he only slept in other people's beds.
This keeps up. It certainly will not be much fun.
Sir, they say the main road to Brighton's been washed out.
In that case, we'll have to take the back road. I know the way.
Well, I'm afraid that road will be even worse.
Jonathan, do as Mr. Sloane says.
Yes, sir.
Jonathan, since you can't go straight on, take the detour.
I certainly hope that we do not have to spend the whole night in the car.
Here, this will quiet your nerves.
No, merci.
You sure?
Merci.
Welcome, Alfred. The door's open.
Thank you.
Darling, we have managed it. Now you are Mr. Archibald's estate agent, and you will live here, and we will be able to meet every day. Actually, I managed it, didn't I? And you didn't think I was that important.
I never doubted it. You're very important. But for different reasons.
No, darling, not here. What are you doing? Please, don't you realize how difficult it is for me to say no to you? I want you to.
Then prove it.
Please don't. I must introduce you to him. Please. Oh, my God, please, no.
He can wait.
Oh, Miss Margheriti, I'm so sorry.
No reason to be. I can't seem to find the chauffeur.
If he's not in the garage, I wouldn't have the faintest idea where he is. I only know that he said he had something wrong with one of the cars.
No matter. I thought I would go into town. But on a beautiful day like this, it's more fun in the country, don't you think?
Who is she?
She can be vicious. She's the boss's newest toy. She could ruin us if she told him.
She won't tell, I'll bet on it. No. I think you misjudge her.
Very well. You begin tomorrow. I feel sure you can handle the job.
Come on, Fifi, darling. Archie, I've been ready and waiting for more than an hour. If we don't leave right away...
I know, but I'm finished now. Oh, my dear, this is, Sloane, my new estate agent. And this is, Miss Dumont. I'll change my jacket.
We've met before, haven't we?
That's right.
And under the most interesting circumstances.
Yes.
Marguerite, let's go.
I'll see you again,
Alfred.
These are taken care of. Our new estate agent is really putting the accounts in order.
Here are all the documents regarding the Blackwood estate.
Take these, file them. Vivian, We'll be leaving here in a couple of days. We'll take the Blackwood papers with us. It'll give us more chance to study them. In any case, we shall have to return here in 3 weeks.
Why?
We have to go with Archibald to Brighton. The court is expecting us to turn over those documents. Richard's documents. And that is really the last thing that remains to be taken care of. After that, we're free at last, I can guarantee you that.
Why don't we return to France, Ben?
Weren't all the years that we were forced to live there enough for you? Archibald is on the verge of being the legal owner of everything here, of everything. And he's also our employer. Wonderful career, mine, eh? And to think that 10 years ago I was considered one of the most brilliant lawyers in London. And now, my dear, I've been promoted to an accountant.
Who's that young man with Margheriti?
That's Alfred, the new estate agent, almost a competitor. According to local gossip, Alfred is likely to have a brilliant future here.
Margheriti?
Right. I tried to persuade Barrett to leave that little tart in France, but he insisted on bringing her along, and I think he's got to learn it was a mistake. But then, maybe he is the right type of man for a woman like her.
Do you really think that?
I don't think anything. It's their business.
Bye.
You're going?
I have many things to look after. You know I want to do you justice. I've got to check the accounts of the farms.
Please, will you tell me the truth, Alfred? I see Mr. Archie's new girlfriend buzzing around you all the time.
Jealous, are you?
Right. I'm not like the other girls. I expect that you're going to be unfaithful. And I'm determined to prevent it. Understand? It's about time you realized I brought you here because we belong to each other. I won't share you with any woman. I warn you, if I catch you together, I'll kill that French bitch. I'll kill her, I tell you.
That's what I like about you. Always so detached when talking about things like
Alfred, don't treat it as a joke. I mean it. Don't deceive me.
Full house.
Life is one long game for you, no matter what the game is.
Well, whoever invented the table did so in order to play cards on it. Want to take Ben's place?
Not really. I'm a bad loser.
Oh. Where's Marguerite?
I don't know. Maybe upstairs.
Would you call her? We need a fourth.
All right.
Is he still playing?
And still winning.
You like gambling too?
At times.
Are you lucky?
Depends on the cards. The way I play, when you're holding a queen, you have to love her. She might help you win.
Give up your Diana. If she has helped you get where you are now, I promise you that I can do much more for you.
Show me. Starting right now.
Yes, Alfred. I'll make an important man out of you. You'll become part of society, and I'll see that Archibald gives you more and more responsibility. Yes, Alfred. Kiss me. I want to be yours. I found what I'm looking for. Love.
We can't be too far from Brighton.
Oh, no.
We've gone into the ditch. I'll have a look.
What happened, Jonathan? We're stuck in the mud.
Start her up. Maybe a push will do it. All right, do it. No, don't spin the wheel. This is accomplishing nothing. Get out. Let's get some branches. Get it. We'll try again. Straighten out the wheels. All right, go ahead. It's useless. Might as well give up. There's nothing we can do. It's an absolute bed of mud and the wheels keep slipping. I saw a light in the distance. Must be a house. The only thing is to take refuge there.
If we go out, we get wet.
Alfred, what do you think?
The river rises any more to wash the car away.
Then it sounds as if we'd better get moving.
Thank God we've an umbrella. Alfred, where is this house? It's just beyond the hill. What? Over there, about a quarter of a mile from here. Damn it. Wait!
Careful, there's a hole there.
Come on, we're almost there. Only a little further.
Ben, be careful with that briefcase. It's worth more than you are.
This way.
Up on the veranda.
At least we're under cover.
Hey, is there anyone there?
Come in, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome.
I hope you'll excuse me, and my friends for this intrusion, but our car is stuck in the mud down the road. Do you have a telephone here?
Yes, but it's out of order. It never works when there's a storm like this. No light or telephone.
Do you have a motor car?
No.
So all that's needed is a storm, and you're isolated from the rest of the world.
In a certain sense, yes.
Is there a garage nearby?
About 2.5 miles from here.
Is it open at night?
It used to be. I mean, 10 years ago. I haven't had a car since, so I don't know.
I'll try to get there and get help. It may take a while.
Get another car. Buy it if you have to, but come back quickly. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we must impose on your hospitality until he returns. I trust it won't be too long.
Of course. Make yourself comfortable. As if you were in your own home, Mr. Barrett. Are you surprised that I know you? Your name has reached very far. Who does not know the most important man in the county? My name is Uriah. My mother is Helga. No, she doesn't see you. She can't see you.
Is she blind?
No, she's not blind. In this moment, her senses are projected in a different dimension, an unnatural dimension. It's just that a short while before the storm started, my mother and I were engaged in a spiritualist session. Oh, you must not be afraid. Poor thing, she's in a trance. Lightning struck earlier nearby. I was scared and I broke the chain that we had formed with our hands. And Mother was left in trance. But she will come out of it. You'll see. You'll see. My mother and I, more than one time, have conducted seances. She is an extraordinary medium. And tonight we were successful in making contact with the spirit of the other world. It seemed that the spirit was struggling to reach us. And it might have, if a strong blast of wind hadn't blown the window open. It was then that I broke the chain when I went to shut the window against the storm. In that moment, I thought I saw someone moving among the trees. I assumed it was only my imagination. Who would venture out in the woods in a night like this? My nerves, made tense by the deep concentration during the séance, had obviously betrayed me. Only then did I realize that my mother had remained in that catatonic state. Unintentionally, I was to blame, and it would have been extremely painful for her to be brought forcibly out of that trance. Suddenly, I heard knocking at the door. Someone had arrived, and it wasn't only my imagination as I had assumed. And so, I went to extend our welcome. It is not by chance that you are here tonight, and may I add, you can help us. If we can form the chain again and...
Why not? After all, one of my relations passed away somewhere near here a few years ago. The man from whom I inherited a large part of my wealth and from whose estate I still expect a great deal. Who can tell? Perhaps a séance will help us to learn what really happened to him.
Richard White. Richard White.
How could she know that name? No one here has mentioned it. Mr. Barrett only said a relative of his. And did not pronounce his name.
You will understand later why my mother pronounced his name.
Let's get out of here. I won't stay in this place.
There's no reason to be frightened. Madam, you must pardon me if my hospitality may not seem the best. But if you do not wish to stay here, there is a room upstairs where you may rest, change your wet clothes if you want, and lie down for a while. Young men, I suggest you go with her, take her baggage, and keep her company. The fireplace is already lighted. It is nice and warm. It's the first door at the top of the stairs. I trust you will find it comfortable.
I'll go with you.
Go, Margheriti. Go with Vivian. Go on.
Barrett, I don't care to put up with your clowning.
You can go if you like. I don't need you. Don't you know that lawyers are like mushrooms, and after all the rain tonight, there will be hundreds of them springing out of the ground tomorrow? How does your mother know that name?
Ask her, and perhaps you will find out. Please, sit down. Would you like a drink?
Hmm?
A drink.
What's in the decanter?
Blood. That's what I call it, because of its color, and because of its density. And because it's the only thing that keeps me going. It's a liqueur my mother distills from the blackberries in the fields.
Vivian had a flask of whiskey with her.
Aren't you taking part?
No.
Are you afraid?
What am I to do?
Sit down, please. And now, place your hands on the table, holding them loose, almost raised. And now we join them, so they're only just touching. And this chain must never be broken. Think deeply.
Think what?
Do you want to speak with him? With a voice? With a being who is in contact with my mother at this moment? Think it, and wish for it with all your strength.
You mean, a dead man? A dead man speaking through your mother. It's cold in here.
Put some more wood at the fire. It's over there, in the corner.
It's not the cold you feel, Archibald. It's a ghostly presence that's making you shiver.
Don't be so inane. You really believe in this business?
Certainly.
But it's absurd. It's been proved scientifically.
It's been proved that it is true, that it is possible. If you want to contact the spirit world, the one thing that will call him to our dimension is willpower. You can bring him to life again briefly, but there is always danger in calling back a dead man's spirit.
You believe you can make contact?
Certainly.
Then call him now. You must force him to speak.
It's pointless to use force. It's only up to the spirit. A being suddenly deprived of life, in full possession of his senses, does not stop living. Something of him lives on after death. And if that being at the moment of passing over possesses some feeling stronger than others, love, hate, call it what you will, he will try to reach us in our dimension, to come back, so that the miracle of his love may be fulfilled, or because his vendetta of hate may be achieved.
Ask her. I want to know who he is.
Calm down. You must concentrate. Think the way I told you. Concentrate.
Margheriti, put this on and get into bed for a while. I'll put your clothes by the fire to dry. You never come to Blackwood. Why?
Archibald doesn't like me coming on his travels with him. You know the way he is.
I've known him for over 10 years now.
How did you happen to come along?
Ben and I are both involved in this business.
Business of what, Vivian?
Of handing over certain documents tomorrow.
You and Ben aren't only the administrators of Blackwood Estates, are you?
You could define us as partners, if that's what you want to know.
That's odd. Archibald doesn't like partners as a rule.
But we're friends, you see.
Who was this Richard?
A man who disappeared some years ago. But if I were in your shoes, I'd ask fewer questions. Archibald doesn't like women prying into his affairs.
You can go now.
Do you want me to tell Alfred to come to you? Don't be so surprised. I saw the two of you in the summer house. And since then, I can't get you out of my mind, Marguerite. You were lovely, Marguerite. And young. How can you bear to be with Archibald? Life with him must be empty and impossible for you. From the time I first saw you, I've never been able to forget you. Perhaps that's why I try to be near you as little as possible. You're beautiful. So beautiful.
Vivian.
I mean that, Marguerite. I can keep you from being so terribly lonely. I want to be... I can be your friend.
No, Vivian.
You want him, don't you? And suppose I tell Archibald, when Alfred is here with you, suppose I betray you. No, don't worry. I won't tell. And so you'll be nice to me. Won't you? Make up your mind, you fool. That old quack can't entertain them long. And then there's Jonathan. He might come back any moment. Make up your mind. You'd best have me as your friend. Believe me. I promise. You won't regret your decision. From now on, you'll have everything you've been lacking. You'll live again, and you'll understand things.
All right. You can go now. I said go.
Help him to reach us, and he will talk. It will be a reality which will completely change the sense of things, but a reality you will have to recognize. Yes, the truth will be stated, even if it may hurt you. Help him. Shortly he will be among us. He is nearer, always nearer. This spirit is about to tell us his truth. A truth which he knows very well for having tragically lived and suffered.
Who are you? I ask who you are. Tell me.
You must keep silent, Barrett. Form your questions in your mind. Think them as forcefully as you can, and then whisper your requests. This isn't your sort of world, Barrett. To them you can't give orders. They're not afraid of you like the living are. and you may only beg them. Humbly bear it.
Ben, silence. Concentrate if your brain is able to. Now I want to hear her speak again. Go on, madam. Please continue.
Call him to us. Pray the lonely spirit to come and communicate with us. He's ready to talk, anxious to reveal the horrible memory of a ghastly crime you tried in vain to forget. Here, united, we can give him the power to relive, as well as bring back our past for us once again. You have tried to cancel these memories out of your minds, but they continue to pursue you. Your past, the night you committed the ultimate sin against your fellow man, shall be projected into the present. You will relive those moments in which your destinies were decided. You are here because he has willed it so. And now you are held in the subtle hands of the truth. A monster will devour you, eliminating you. That monster will be your conscience.
Well, here's the cake. Have some?
No, thank you.
Margheriti.
Ben, you're not dancing.
I'm a little old for the job.
I've been waiting for you. Come and have a drink.
Thanks.
Did you bring him?
Yes, I put him in the stable.
Ah, good. This calls for champagne. We must drink a toast to my new horse. I'd like to go and have a look at him now. Will you go with me?
With pleasure.
We must find a name, huh?
Naturally.
Shall we go?
Vivian, what do you say we get ready to leave?
You like to play poker?
Love it. I assume you do?
Your assumption's correct. It's no exaggeration to say that gambling is to me what food and drink are to the average man. You see this table? I claim that the man who invented it did so exclusively to play cards on. Can you think of any nobler purpose, huh?
Oh, isn't he sweet? Thank you. And now, darling.
Come here.
And that time, I managed to win 4 months in succession.
Archie.
Yes?
Excuse me, Archibald, but Vivian and I must leave. We have to get down to Blackwood, get the documents out of the safe.
Very well. I'll see you tomorrow night at the club. Bring the documents. We'll go on together from there to Brighton.
All right. Good night, Archibald.
Good night.
Archibald, for a man who claims to be a compulsive gambler, you spend a lot of time eating.
Eating and gambling are the two greatest pleasures in life, I'm afraid.
I must say.
Subtle hands of the truth. A monster will devour you, eliminating you. That monster will be your conscience. Help him. Turn toward the truth now. But you remember that truth may be purchased dearly. He who knows every moment of your existence will judge your sentiments. You who believe yourselves capable of loving and are truly only infatuated with yourselves. You who are destined only to suffer and hate. Love is something which equates to eternity and is far above your petty souls.
Vivian knows that I came up here. She may...
She's blackmailing me. She won't talk.
You certain?
I'm afraid it's going to cost me plenty, but she's safe.
What did you do? Buy her?
She bought me.
Having that woman as a friend could be helpful at this moment.
Alfred, what's wrong? Are you worried about that silly...
Yes, it's that pair down below with their ghost stories. I'm afraid they know too much. And what if the old woman is in contact with someone who knows everything about us and Diana?
They must be joking.
And yet it's true. They spoke of things. They managed to bring back frightening, terrifying memories from the past. And now they promise someone will come and tell what happened. What if it were Diana?
Alfred!
I know, but I can't pretend that it's just a joke. Because there's one thing that frightens me. Something that I ought to grasp. A truth that's about to be shouted aloud. My nerves can't take this any longer. I'm leaving.
Don't leave me. Alfred!
I'm going to see if I can find Jonathan. I prefer the hell outside to this.
Why?
Certain people I can do without.
Here I am now. Feel my presence. Here I am among you.
Alfred!
You have beckoned me. You who want to know. Now you will know all. You will know the truth of this terrible night, identical to that in which you lost yourselves.
Who are you?
A victim of your machinations. But tonight, you will join me in my nothingness.
Alfred!
And I will be your judge and accuser. It is all already written. I see in this final tableau of the end your past and your brief future.
You sailor. And you, Barrett.
Oh, stop it. I've listened to enough nonsense. Do you hear? Enough.
She named you too, Barrett. Why? Wonder why? Or is that the reason why you're trembling? What brief future? Why does she speak of vendetta? Don't you believe that...
What do you take me for, Herta? Now I understand what it is you plan to do. With all this absurd buffoonery. Well, you won't get away with it. Look at this. I have what I need here. The documents. With these, I will have all the protection I need against any accusation. So, what is this, Uriah? Extortion?
It's useless to ask me.
That's your name. Your mother's name. Archie. Archie, don't you remember? Those names were in all the London papers while we were in France. Of course, Uriah Browner. 10 years ago, you were implicated in a murder. No question about it. Archie, you must remember these two are somehow involved in the deaths of Richard White and his wife, Elizabeth. We read all about it in the French papers, although we'd agreed not even to think about it until the trial was over and forgotten. Yes, they were accused and convicted on the charge of having murdered Richard and Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Elizabeth!
Vivian. Vivian. I'm terribly sorry to be so late, but I had a perfectly frightful day in court. Oh. Come. I want you to meet Richard's wife, Elizabeth.
She's here.
Yes, we made the trip together.
Oh. And then we started toward her without knowing what this meeting was to cost us. She was splendid. Splendid. I asked myself how she could live with Richard, that small, narrow-minded man who had only one asset in life, his enormous wealth.
Glad you're back home, dear.
Thank you.
It's time you two girls met. You've heard enough about each other.
How do you do?
Glad to meet you. Why don't we sit down?
Yes, let's.
I'm sure the ladies will excuse us.
I'm ready for a drink.
Come to the library.
Have you organized that fox hunt you promised?
Naturally.
Good show.
Don't you get bored here? With someone like you here, how could I get bored?
That hand. I could never forget the warmth of that hand. Looking at Elizabeth, I felt a new sensation. Something inside me warned me to be on my guard, to fear her, but I was completely enthralled by her charm. Even tonight you had to discuss business, I suppose.
You're awake. I thought you were sleeping. Late, you know.
I know. I hoped that at least tonight, seeing that we're guests, you wouldn't have to work like every night in the city.
I stopped to talk a while with Richard.
And I suppose it's raining inside.
It's what?
When you come in from one of your little escapades, you could at least leave your raincoat in the hallway.
You don't miss a thing, do you?
I know you too well now. But tell me, now that you're extending your hunting zone into the country, are there any pretty girls around?
What are you saying?
The truth. It's become worse ever since you started representing that good-for-nothing Barrett.
I'm taking care of his interests. It's different. It's my profession. A respectable lawyer must always try to pull his client out of trouble. Even if this time it's not going to be very easy with Richard involved. If you ask me, they're both rotten. It's true that Archie's practically bankrupted himself gambling, but that pompous little man, Richard White, with his air of youthful superiority, I doubt that his hands are very clean. And the fact that the inheritance all goes to him is rather strange. Tomorrow is the deadline for all the payments we must and cannot meet. I shouldn't think that we'd be able to enjoy that fox hunt that's been laid on for us. There's bound to be a nasty row between Archie and Richard.
Do you think Elizabeth is beautiful?
Stupendous.
Yet there is something strange about her. Something... I don't know how to pin it down. Do you like her as a woman?
Very much. What is it? Don't tell me you're jealous of her.
Jealous?
What's the matter?
Nothing. I'm not in the mood.
Really?
Men are interested in women only when they feel the desire.
Vivian. What is wrong with you? You know, I really love you. What are you trying to say? Tell me. Someone else?
No. I'm not like you. The day there should be someone else, you'd be the first to know. I would leave you. What I mean is that, well, there are times when a woman needs to be caressed, to be treated differently, not just something you can use.
Yes, but I don't want to use you. I want to make love to you.
No, Ben.
You don't like it anymore?
Perhaps. Will you help me? Oh, you're back. Did you have a good hunt?
Very much so.
Then it was fun.
It was not only fun, it was an excellent workout. Yes, Uriah and Herta. Of course. You were both convicted 10 years ago for murder. That's the reason why you know so much about us. Uriah, I think it's time you put your cards on the table. I'm sure Archie agrees. Make your mother go on talking, or else you start talking.
Let us join hands in a circle again.
Must we play games? Make your mother speak, I said. I mean immediately.
You can help us in this. Sit down. There. Now everything is possible. Because tonight may perhaps last an eternity.
Yes, you think you know each other, and you don't at all. You who are only united to betray each other here tonight. To betray each other. And you, Ben, why do you want to know? If you already know, or perhaps...
Speak. Speak!
Or perhaps in sheer presumption, you, Ben, you think you know and ignore the truth.
Concentrate. Concentrate. You have an extraordinary power as a medium. You'll recall him in just a few seconds, and perhaps even against his will. Concentrate, and he will return, and he will speak, and he will tell us all about this night of truth.
Yes. Yes. I am returning to you. Help me. What do you want, you young victim of a game in which you had no part? This night of revelation will betray you.
Go on concentrating. Think of nothing else. Even if now you understand certain things that at first escaped you. Forget them. Concentrate.
Margheriti.
Don't you realize yet? Men lack the courage, especially in those moments when what we really want, what we need, is only affection. You're even more beautiful when you're sad. Forget Alfred. Forget everything. Let me love you and help you.
No, Vivian.
I'll make you understand. You hear?
No.
Margaret, don't pretend you're running away from me. You want me.
No.
You come begging me on your knees.
No.
Of course you will.
Vivian. Vivian.
Then I doth the crime.
What crime?
The crime that one of you committed.
You make her stop or I'll kill her.
You won't touch my mother.
The blood of innocent people has been shed for that crime, and that blood cries for revenge. And this night the guilty party shall pay.
Yes, Barrett. Remember 10 years ago? 10 long years ago? Try to remember well. You were different then. More brilliant. Younger. Although equally perverse. Think back to that night 10 years ago. It was a festive occasion. The height of the London season.
Hello, darling. Oh. Hello. Having fun? Cheers.
Archie?
Oh, Richard, I was looking for you.
I have a surprise for you, old boy.
Well, I trust it's a pleasant one.
Sit down, please.
Monday.
Oh, why can't they make it sooner?
May I?
Excuse me.
I am
Well.
dying to know what this is all about.
When Richard says he's got a surprise, it's time to be wary. Don't you think we could talk about it some other time?
No, let's talk now. Mind coming with me? My opinion is that when a discussion is distasteful, it is better to have done with it without delay. Do come in and sit down, gentlemen. I'm terribly sorry to pull you away from the party, I assure you. But the surprise we were talking about is, I believe, rather important. Let's make it clear. It's a surprise only in the figurative sense, since you are already familiar with these documents. You see, Archie, I've taken over the mortgages on all your land, and in so doing, I've discovered you've mortgaged land which wasn't even yours. I'm referring to the property our dear uncle left in his will exclusively to me. In hypothecating that land, you have committed a fraud. However, I'm willing to ignore it if you hand the money over to me. To make myself clearer, either pay by tomorrow or go to jail.
But you must give me a week at least.
Tomorrow, cousin.
You must forgive me, Mr. White. If I may be so frank, your behavior in this affair isn't exactly correct.
The man that lives in a glass house must never throw stones. These documents are signed by both of you, and now that they are in my hands, I won't hesitate to use them if you don't pay up.
Ronnie, wait for me in the garden.
Elizabeth, why do you keep ignoring me? And that one, what does he want?
Nothing.
You better not treat me as if we were nothing but strangers.
I'll treat you as I like and drink less.
Now you're ruined. Come on, cousin, don't take it so hard. After all, it was your own doing. You played a long shot and you lost. And what about Mr. Taylor here? A splendid career down the drain. As a matter of fact, I don't regret bringing about your ruin at all. If I hadn't acted when I did, you'd have robbed me of the entire estate.
You won't ruin me.
That's exactly what I will do.
Control yourself.
You stay out of this.
I'll meet you in the library.
Here I am, your hope night gone, weren't you? So you could go on playing the eager little bitch.
What on earth are you saying? Are you out of your mind?
You can't treat me like this. From now on, you're going to do as I say. Forgive me, Elizabeth. Forgive me.
Look here. Look, your signature is here, too. I'll ruin you as well, Taylor.
Now you are really exaggerating, and I think it would be better for you to be more prudent. So take my advice and watch what you're saying.
And why should I do so? You are no longer only my cousin's lawyer. You are his accomplice. You are in this affair up to your neck and as guilty as he is. Whatever you think, Taylor, I'll bring you to court and brand you the blundering, pretentious swindler that you are. Let go! I'll show you.
I've killed him. I've killed him.
Ben, we've got to get away. Come on. Hurry. Come on.
Let me go. I killed a man. I killed a man, and now I must pay.
Don't be a fool. You hear? We've got to get away. Look at these. They can't do anything to us. The documents are now in our possession.
But don't you understand that I can't? I can't run away. I can't.
But it was an accident. You're not to blame.
Oh, forgive me. I will if you remember what I said. Only when I want it. When you're like this, I get depressed. And if you're happy...
Oh, Elizabeth.
Vivian, remember that I will not be your slave.
No, stop! Stop! You won't go out that door alone! Don't leave me or I'll kill you. I'd rather see you dead than with that man. No, Elizabeth, don't go in there. Oh, my love.
Bring your minds back to that night, 10 years ago. It was a grand party. Life was roaring then. Was it as you remembered? Or was the truth something else? There's one important thing that Barrett failed to tell you.
What could that be?
The real cause of Richard's death. But Barrett preferred not to. It was too convenient. He kept quiet.
Mad, you're as mad as a hatter.
Hardly. Don't say that ring was my invention. You never suspected that I knew as well as you the real story of that terrible night. That ring you still have on your finger. What a part you had in that crime. Why do you still insist on trying to hide the truth? That night when you left the ballroom to go into the library, you could never have imagined the trap that Richard had set for you.
Look here, Archie's signature and yours. I'll ruin the two of you.
You'd be wiser to use some self-control. Take my advice and watch what you're saying.
Oh, yes? Do you really feel that you are entitled to talk?
He revealed himself more cunning than you had ever thought, and you could not defend yourself against his accusations. He had you against the wall. There was no way out, you thought. The only thing left was to kill him to save your neck, and that ring was already prepared for such a moment.
You're his accomplice and as guilty as he is, and I shall drag you both into court.
His fight with Ben gave you the chance.
The blundering, pretentious swindler that you are.
How dare you?
You grabbed his hand and held it long enough for the poison to penetrate.
Let me go, I'll show him.
The only thing left was to wait. It was a matter of seconds. You let him go on fighting with Ben without any desire to stop them, or to tell Ben that fighting was useless. But then when Richard fell down, hitting his head, you got an idea. As long as you said nothing, Ben would be convinced that he'd killed Richard.
I've killed him. I have killed him.
You didn't talk. Instead, you played the role of a friend who wanted to save him at all costs.
On your feet, Ben. No. We must try to get away. Come on, hurry. Don't you understand?
Let me go. Look. I must pay. I killed a man and I must pay.
Don't be foolish. We've got to go. Wait a second. We're all right. We're in the clear, I tell you. They can't do anything now. We've got the documents.
But Ben was a man of honor. He was unwavering in his decision. He believed he had killed Richard and he intended to pay the consequence. It was in that same moment that Vivian committed the other crime. Ben was in a state of shock and you took advantage of it to lead him away against his will.
Vivian, get up. Come with me.
Vivian's screams were heard throughout the house. The bodies were discovered a few moments later by my mother and I, who had been hired only that day as housekeeper and major domo.
You murderers!
It wasn't us. It wasn't us! And truly it was not us. We had nothing to do with those crimes. Barrett, that you knew. But no one believed us.
No. I won't defend my actions. It would be useless. It's true, I did it. With this ring. There's pure air on that needle. The poison, so potent a scratch is mortal. Yes. It was I who did it. I killed Cousin Richard. For years, I allowed you to carry the guilt. Because it made me your master. I could have had you arrested. But I'm afraid you knew too much, Ben. This is the end of the road. While I have these, I don't need you. And none of you can ever hurt me. These documents are mine and no one else's. And tomorrow I will be the owner. The sole owner. The sole owner. And without partners.
Archie!
You didn't expect to see her again, did you? Vivian is dead. She has paid. The way you will pay.
You swine!
Archie!
How many more deaths for this document? No.
Yes, you'll die. You'll die too. So quickly. Yes. You will die. You'll follow me. Follow in death.
It's not true. It's not true. I don't want to die!
The circle is closing. And Dan will die for the crime he did not commit. And the two of you will also pay.
Uriah. Uriah, why?
The water will arrive, bringing death, which will signify redemption and complete our mission on Earth.
Blood calls for blood, and now the waters will come to wash everything away. It's useless to flee. You're only running toward your death. In that courtroom at Old Bailey, my mother and I were condemned to death and subsequently executed for a crime of which we were innocent.
But Uriah, I didn't do it.
I cannot help you at all, but I feel sorry for you.
Uriah, you can't let me die this way. It isn't right. I didn't do it. You can't let me die this way. But I didn't do it. Uriah!
You are an innocent victim, just the same as we. You two are required to pay for a murder you did not commit.